Well, good evening and welcome to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show. This is the kind of a second part of a day-long kind of look back at classic rock album for me. I wouldn't say it's a part two or anything, but they're kind of connected. I did two albums I really love today, both the fourth studio albums by these two respective progressive rock British bands. The first one you heard earlier was Yes is Fragile, and this one is Genesis's Foxtrot. The reason I lump them together is because there's a lot of similarities in these two albums, but I'm not comparing either album, so I won't be doing any of that. I just wanted to mention that I like them both quite a bit. I think they're both classics, and they coincidentally came out the same year. So with that having said, this album was recorded at Island Studios in London, produced by David Hitchcock and Genesis. Cover art by Paul Whitehead, as you can see. There's the cover and backside. There's a bunch of guys kind of doing a fox hunt in the water, and there's fox out there on the thing. It has a list of all the Genesis albums in the back to a certain point, and it's got the lyrics, which are Peter Gabriel is unbelievable with his lyrics. He's one of the best, if not the best, lyricist out there for prog music, in my opinion. His vocals are quite good on this album, very good indeed. Also, this was released on October the 6th, 1972 on Charisma label. It's about 51 minutes long, so pretty lengthy album for the time period. Most albums in that time period were anywhere between 35 and 45 minutes, most of them being around 40 minutes. This album's quite a bit longer than that. Fantastic album. What can I say about it? So we'll just do a little bit of talking about the... first I forgot to list the band members. I completely forgot that. So Genesis is Tony Banks, who plays organ, mellotron, piano, electric piano, 12-string, and does voices on this album, which is actually vocals, is what they're saying. Steve Hackett, electric guitar, 6 and 12 strings, and does most of the solos on this album. Phil Collins does the drums, percussions, and also does vocals or voices if you prefer. Peter Gabriel is the lead vocalist. He does play some tambourine, oboe, flute, bass drum on this album. And then Mike Rutherford plays the bass pedals, 12-string guitar, cello, and also does vocals. So they have quite a bit of harmony on this album. Fantastic album though. Anyways, we'll do the songs. It opens up epically right at the beginning with Watchers of the Sky, which in my opinion is the best Genesis song of all time. Ranks up there with every group I know, one of the classic songs. Starts out with a heavy organ, then the guitar, drums, and bass have heavy parts kick in after the intro. Gabriel's voice and ability to tell a story is fantastic here. His vocals are surreal, if you ask me. They really complement this music so well. There's some guitar solos here. First part with it separates the first part from the second part of the song, and there's a catchy drum and bass part that go through most of the song. You really see the full talents of the instrumentation on this album from these four guys. The next song, which I think is pretty good, is it's called Timetable, and it starts out with a piano bit, and the vocals are also excellent on this song. Not one of my favorite Genesis songs, but I still like it quite a bit. Get 'Em Out by Friday, classic Genesis, a song that I've long liked. Has a bit of a guitar bit at the beginning, and just a real catchy kind of song. The next song up is one of my favorite songs of all time. It's Can Utility and the Coastliners. It's a great kind of forward to the song at the beginning, and then there's this guitar riffing that's really good. The drum and the bass fills are heavy. The vocals are tremendous. There's a catchy riff that goes through the song as well. I really like. It definitely is one of my top 10 songs. Since there's like a couple of songs from this album and I'm my top 10. If you see my list, of course that list changes over time as well, as sometimes songs come on a bit, other times songs may be overplayed a bit and I kind of get tired of them. Then the next song up is a classical guitar bit done by Steve Hackett with good harmonies in it. It's just fantastic. Okay, so the last song on this album, I think, is one of the great, if not the greatest, epic long prog song in history of prog music. There's an argument can be made for this with some other great classic songs by different bands, but this one is right up there. It was one of the first ones too. There's a few other obscure bands that have some songs that may have come a little bit before, but for a top-notch band like Genesis, this is one of the best epic songs of all time, and it's called Supper's Ready. And it's a 7-part song, has 7 different parts in it. Each part has its catchy part. I really I love the way it transitions from one to another. Peter Gabriel's vocals are off the charts here. Fantastic. His storytelling is epic here. The lyrics are really thought-provoking and just really good. So you can't say enough. The guy wrote all the lyrics and sings all the songs. He often was kind of wordy with his songs, but he could handle it. Some vocalists might have a great deal of difficulty and had to cut some of it, but he handled it very well. There's lots of acoustic epic guitar bits on this song. The harmonies and vocals are great between the 4 of them that are singing on it. Keyboards are solid here, right through the entire album. My favorite part of the song is Guaranteed Eternal Sanctuary Man, a classic vocal part, and it's all tied together with the keys and the drums, keyboards and the drums. It's just fantastic. And then you have this little part where there's like 2 solos, a keyboard solo and an organ solo, and they switch back and forth, but both are epic. If you like that kind of proggy guitar and Hammond organs, it's fantastic here. The drums and bass are heavy in the background and cover the length of this song. All 4 musicians are epic here on this particular song. They all come together very well. It's just fantastic. There's a part in it called Willow's Farm. Brilliant lyrics on that. Drums, guitar, bass background, fantastic. And Tony Banks is brilliant in this section. He does this epic classic solo. This guy is, to me, the main musician in this band, like the top musician of the 4. Not that the other guys are bad; they're great too. But to me, he's the leader of this group, and very underrated keyboardist, in my opinion. He just doesn't get. When they talk about Genesis, they talk about Peter Gabriel's voice, or Phil Collins' voice, or Phil Collins' drum ability, or Steve Hackett's guitar. But they don't mention too much about Tony Banks, which is unfortunate because to me, he's the best all-around musician in the group. The drums, the bass, supporting Banks solo are fantastic. They fit together like glove, and then it winds up into this dun, 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 just like epic, man. So there you have it. One of the classic rock bands with a classic album. I've been doing Genesis's look backs in kind of an order. They're the only group I've been doing that with. I don't know why, I just started with them. Trespass was a great album. Nursery Crime, even better. This album is better than both of them, and they just keep getting better. And there's no Genesis album, or there's few albums out there that have the kind of epicness that this album presents with its Supper's Ready and Watchers of the Sky, and even the songs in the middle are very, very good. So it's a really good listen. If you like classic prog music, you gotta like this album. Just fantastic. So there you have it, the second part of my two favorite 1972 kind of prog albums. They both were the fourth studio album for both group. Both very impactful in different ways. The musicianship is fantastic on both albums. Just like two of my favorite albums, no doubt about it. Anyways, there you have it. That's it. If you like this video and want me to do more of this kind of stuff, please just like in the bottom there. And if you want to subscribe to hear more content of this nature, that would be great as well. So I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and hopefully I'll see you soon. So from Prog Monster, have a great night. Bye.